If this retrograde is gonna be a thing, like if this shadow period is foreshadowing right now, this is gonna be a show. It's gonna be a god cleanse all of the energy. Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. Hello if you are new. My name is Andrea Johnson. I am your mystical muse, your manifestation mind, your spiritual inspiration. Welcome to my side of the internet, where we discuss all things to expand our consciousness and improve our lives. Let me grab my coffee because we definitely need it today. And yes, we still do the Angry Jack because it's always Halloween. It's this thing room. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how to know whenever you're ready to get back into a relationship, because I have received so many messages about not only you guys asking about when to get into a relationship, but when I am ready to get into a relationship. And I'm just here to tell you, I'm not looking for a relationship. I am very much whole, happy, and complete on my own. Not to say that I wouldn't be excited if Mr. Right stepped in the picture. Don't get me wrong, I love me a man, but we want the right man. And let me tell you how to know when you are ready for a relationship. The first one, when you are no longer looking for the damn relationship. Let that sink in. Let that sink in for you. I'll sit here and wait. Yes, guys. When you are not looking for a relationship will be whenever you find the relationship, because the laws of the universe, when you look for something, you are signaling to the universe that you do not have it. So therefore, you will not find it, or at least a successful one. More importantly, if you are looking for a relationship, you are looking for something to complete you. You are looking for something outside of yourself to complete a wholeness that you yourself are signaling to the universe that you are lacking. Let me repeat that. If you are looking for something outside of yourself to complete you, basically a relationship, and that's with anything, guys. If you are looking for anything in your external world to complete a sense of wholeness within you, you're going to be very disappointed at some point when that thing falls away, and it's going to cause an awakening moment within yourself, because you're going to figure out what energy that thing was supplying you with that you were not giving yourself. So the first point in which you want to look for is when you are not seeking wholeness or completion from somebody else, or for anything in that matter of fact. When you are not seeking somebody to come in and complete you, to save you, or to fill the loneliness or that void. When you don't look for somebody to fill the emptiness inside of you, you have to fill it yourself. It's whenever you are good with being on your own and sitting with that emptiness and that feeling of loneliness on your own. If you do feel it, right? You have to figure out, if you do feel that, how and which way you can give yourself what you need to then not feel that. Because whenever you rely on other people to fill that void, you become a very controllable human being. And we tend to morph ourselves and lose ourselves in other people when we rely on them to supply us with an energy that we feel like we need in order to feel a sense of love, right? We tend to morph ourselves because that feeling of love elevates us, and it's a feeling of life, right? So we will lose ourselves in it because it's a higher vibration, and we will sacrifice the soul in order to feel a sense of a higher vibration. But over time, we will end up killing ourselves, essentially. Bottom line, love becomes something that you share with somebody, not something that you need. Dang, this always, all the time, guys. I love these things in the videos, but they just go crazy. They just go crazy. Okay. Point number 2, when you stop losing yourself in other people to be chosen, basically putting your worth outside of yourself. Whenever you yourself don't feel like you're enough, or whenever you want to be chosen, or whenever you're basically transforming yourself in order to be liked or to be loved, is whenever you will lose yourself in other people. You will put on a mask essentially and lose your authenticity, your soul. You will abandon yourself in order to be loved and to be chosen. And over time, you will drain your soul. And over time, you will resent the person, especially if you transform yourself and you sacrifice some of the things that you most deeply desire and want in your life in order to give the other person what they desire or what they want in their life, or be somebody for them that is not in alignment with you. You will blame them for not basically having the life that you desire, and eventually you will leave them. Eventually you will resent them so bad that it will destroy the relationship. Mel Robbins even says that. So whenever you can be your authentic self and not transform into somebody else and hold boundaries with somebody, and them still meet you of where you're at and not shift or transform, is whenever you can be in a healthy relationship. When you feel that you can walk away from something that doesn't serve you and be okay with it. When you can basically hold boundaries for yourself and let go of people who you know are not good for you and don't serve you, or are not in alignment with who you are, your authenticity, or things that you value in your life. When you can hold those boundaries for yourself or not shift or change things that are basically non-negotiables for you, is when you know that you're ready for a relationship. Because when you sacrifice the things that you most deeply desire in your life or your values, you are going to deeply resent it, and it will be a sacrifice of the soul and your health and your life down the line. Point number 3 in knowing that you are ready is you are so deeply rooted in who you are as your own energy and your own self. You know yourself basically deep down to your authenticity. So you are so anchored in who you are. You know your values, you know your standards, you know your emotional needs. This is why I think it is so important that everybody spends time alone so they get to know your own energy. You get to know what you want in life. You know, you get to spend time experiencing life, maybe date around for a little bit, get to know what you like and what you don't like, get to know what your values are, right? Sit down and make a list. That's what I had to do, guys. Whenever I was going through my crap with my separation with my husband, I had to really sit down and understand myself and what it was that I wanted out of my next relationship, so I didn't have to go through this again. I needed to know who I was and who my ideal partner was, right? You want to get very, very clear on who it is that you want to attract, right? So sit down and write down all the qualities that you want in your partner. Write down your values that you want, your emotional needs that you need out of a relationship. Write down the things that you will not sway on, your non-negotiables in a relationship. My top number 1 out of a man was he needs to be a spiritual person, or he needs to have a sharp mind. I need to have intellectual conversation with a man. Otherwise, I cannot be with the person. I do not find that attractive if I cannot hold a intellectual conversation with somebody. That's a non-negotiable for me in particular. It is extremely important that you know your own standards and your values in your own life, and that they do not sway, that your identity just doesn't disappear just because one person enters your life. And you know, maybe somebody does change your mind. Maybe somebody does. Maybe it's not a trauma bond or something of that nature, hopefully. Because that magnetic pull, guys, don't confuse that. Don't confuse it. You can love somebody deeply, guys, and still stay rooted in yourself. There is somebody out there for you that loves you for you, and vice versa, because love is a choice that you make. It's not how we were programmed to view love. Love is not what we used to think it was. Or at least what I used to think it was. Not the Disney princess version. Point number 4, emotional maturity and detachment. When you can walk away from somebody and be okay with it. Now, not to say you can walk away and just be like, hey, peace, man, good run, you know, glad that we could have a good time and have a good life, you know. No, that's not necessarily what I mean. It's whenever you can walk away and honor one another in the relationship and know that you both served one another. It is now basically giving it over to God. It is in God's hands that you know that you both served your purpose. And it is what it is now. You do not need this other person to fulfill or complete you. And you understand if it's meant to be, it will be. And if not, then that is okay. But you love them or respect them enough to know that the situation or the relationship served its course and you let it go. One person does not determine your life or determine who you are. It's just a piece of your life. You have yet to actually meet all the other people that are going to, I don't want to say fulfill the role, but you know, you're going to have relationships with and, you know, experiences with. It's just knowing that you can walk away from what's no longer aligned with you, not necessarily to say very easily, but you can detach from it and not stay stuck in situations that are traumatic or toxic for you. Those toxic cycles or those toxic relationships of where it gets very addicting, or people get into those patterns of they fight, they like break up, and then they get back together. And then, you know, those couples that always do that. I was in one of those ugly ass high school relationships like that. We detach because we care about the other person, but we care about ourselves more. We hold a sense of love for ourselves because we know it honors us and our energy to walk away, and therefore it honors the other person as well too. It's the highest sense of love for both parties to walk away and know that the relationship served its purpose. Point number 5, probably one of the biggest ones: conscious choice versus trauma bonding. Or basically your body choosing for you or the subconscious choosing for you. Now, this can be very confusing. I get it. And this takes a lot of self-awareness and probably a lot of practice. So most people fall into relationships because of the familiarity of energy rather than conscious choice or compatibility. We call it chemistry, but really it's our nervous system recognizing what it's used to. And a lot of us are used to traumatic things from childhood. If you grew up in a chaotic home, if you had traumatic experiences as a child, insert XYZ of what had happened when you were a child, right? But whatever you were familiar with as a child, you will seek in other partners because it feels familiar as home. What love should feel like is probably going to be different for everybody, but love should not feel like chaos. I feel like love should feel like peace. I feel like love should feel like a sense of home, a sense of groundedness. I think the most important thing to understand here, guys, is love is going to be a choice every single day. And to know when you're ready is to be consciously aware of everything that I have just talked about, because you will be tested and challenged over every single one of these points. I don't want to say almost daily, but at some point in your life, you will be tested again over it. It's not just overcoming this once in your life and being done. It is a choice and a challenge that you will face throughout the entirety of your life and throughout however many partners that you have. And even if you have the same partner, it will be a choice that you have to consciously make with your partners. Love is a choice. It is a decision. And it's not going to show up naturally every single day, because every single human will be challenged to feel love, even in yourself. If you think about you yourself, because we can only show or give as much love as we feel internally or within ourselves to other people. So if we ourselves find it hard to give ourselves love, we're gonna find it hard to give our partners love, right? It has to be a conscious choice. And there's gonna be so many different things in our world, what's gonna be going on externally and internally. What stressors are going on, what emotional, things are going on inside of us. In our external world, with our jobs, with our families, with the world in itself, what is going on is gonna determine love, essentially, and how it shows up for you daily. And it's going to have to be a choice. So that is what I want you to understand, is the storybook love that Disney has spun to us is only the ending of a book. And that's a couple of pages. It's a snapshot. It's not the entirety of your life. Let's go jump and see Cinderella's rest of her story. She's probably wanting to strangle Prince Charming or some shit. Tired of cleaning his goddamn toilet. Who knows? But I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, you will know that you are ready when you are consciously aware of everything that I've talked about. Only you truly know whenever you're ready as well too. You'll know it in your gut. And don't be afraid if you don't ever feel like you'll be ready, or if you're second guessing if you are or you're not. I think deep down you will know subconsciously. And that's truly all that matters. The soul knows what it's doing. It knows what feels right, what feels wrong. You know your intuition, you know yourself the best. I just presented you with information that maybe you were not aware of, and maybe to consider next time whenever a relationship might present itself to you. Anyways, guys, I hope this video helped you out. These are things that have helped me out. I'm sending you all my light and all my love. Satnam.